Today's guest is such a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous soul. My friend Jo St. George, who is a powerful, intuitive life guide. She's living on the South Coast in New South Wales at the moment, and she's well known for her Kundalini Reiki. That's where I met Jo a couple of years ago. And her teachings around the oracle cards that she does and her holistic counselling. And I met Jo, as I said, at one of the Reiki programs she was running, but I knew of her well before that because my son Henry and Jo's daughter Grace were great friends. They were besties, and I'm so grateful to Jo because she lived closer to town and the nightclub hotspots. So the kids would end up on her couch at odd hours in the morning instead of mine. So, Jo, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. And it's lovely to be, I'm so happy to be here and have a chat with you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. And Jo, I start the podcasts generally just asking the guests at what stage of life they're at. So where are you at in your life? And I know that's a very broad question.
Well, I was told recently that I'm in the teenage years of old age, or the teenage stage of old age, having just turned 60. So now I'm a teenager again, feeling very good about it.
Actually, I like that teenage element. What's the old age element? Like that's a bit.
Yeah, who said that?
Who said that? Who said that old age? So you've just turned 60.
I did, yes, in March. And it was such a wonderful thing. I love it.
You love it. What did you do?
It's very empowering being 60.
Oh, why? Why is it empowering being 60?
Because people have to just bow to me now. It's like, family, I'm 60. Listen, but what I say means something. I'm old. I've earned the right to say this, and you just have to go along with it, whether you agree or not. I said it. It must be right.
Ooh,
it's just wonderful. I like to boss my family around now because I'm old.
Was there a shift? Because I'm 57.
Yeah,
I've still got 3 years. There was a shift. To
be really honest, there was quite a shift. It was a bit. It was a bit of kind of a lonely thing for a day. I thought, you just felt a bit, like, ooh. And then it's like, put your big girl pants on, you can do this. And I literally woke up the next day and I thought, I love it. I'm 60 and I'm going to rock the rest of my life. I'm not going to be one of these people that goes downhill as soon as they reach a certain age. This is it. I'm going to have fun, and, life's about fun.
And you have fun anyway, don't you? Like
I do.
Yeah, you have fun. You've got a good fun approach to life.
Yeah.
What did you do for your 60th? You did something special, didn't you?
I did. I actually went on a retreat, a stillness retreat to Bali by myself.
Oh.
So I went over. I knew some of the people that were on the retreat, but my family weren't there, although they did something beautiful for me on the day of my birthday. But I just went there by myself for 10 days and enjoyed some still centering calmness that comes with Bali. I absolutely love just being there. It's just got a wonderful vibe about it that is, I find, very calming.
Yes.
And then I went off to met my husband in Darwin at the end of that, and we went to Kakadu National Park for a week with some other friends.
Oh,
and that was really lovely.
Special.
So yeah, it was.
That's really, just for my family, if they're listening, I would love that for my 60th birthday too. A retreat on my own. Family, I love you, but
I'll talk to the kids. They can organise it.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that so much. You used to run retreats too, didn't you?
I did, yes.
What was it like being on the other side of the guest?
It's kind of weird because I've been on some of this ladies' retreats before, and you kind of feel like you want to put your 20 cents worth in every but it's like, no, you're supposed to be taking this, not giving this.
Yes, because
there's a bit. You feel a little bit like that for a while, but now I'm just used to you just go there and you just lap up all the attention, all the wonderful energy, and the sort of stuff that we do. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's nice. So you've turned 60. You've recently, the last couple of years, you've also done a big sea change, haven't you? So you lived in Canberra, the capital of Australia, for those listening from overseas. And where have you moved to?
We moved about 2.5 hours from Canberra up to the coast to a place called Mollymook Beach. And it's it's this glorious, as you've seen
it's
it,
beautiful.
it's beautiful, beautiful part
Yeah.
of the world. It's not mad tourist related place. It's a very calm little area that my husband and I have enjoyed coming to for about 30 years. And we had a house here, and now we've done a little bit of a reno on it. So it's, we can live in a little bit more and have all the family here now. And it's just wonderful. So calming, and a whole different mindset and a whole different way of life than the busyness that surrounds, public service and sort of higher profile lives in Canberra, and it's wonderful. And we came here when the fires were on. We had some really terrible fires in 2019, and they closed the mountain road behind our furniture removal van. So
oh my gosh, really?
I know. We're lucky we both, I was in front of them and we got through, and they were calling out for help here. The Rural Fire Service catering people were calling out for help. And so I just left everything, and at 6 o'clock in the morning the following day, I was at the fire station, said, I'm here, ready to make sandwiches for you. We're going to do this. And they took me in, and for 6 weeks I boiled eggs, mashed them, grated them, and made sandwiches for fireys, which was fabulous. And it's like working in the CWA, but it was a wonderful intro into this area because we didn't know anybody when we arrived here.
Actually, I was going to ask you that too. I'm going to go back to that no, I'll actually stick with that now. So the fires, and for those of you in Australia, you probably remember those fires. So this was the summer just before COVID hit as well, wasn't it? So it was really devastating for our local communities, but they were devastating fires. So being involved, like you're doing this sea change, you're packing up your whole home. How long had you lived in Canberra for?
We lived there for 22 years.
Gosh, so you're packing up a life and moving to the coast.
So, and apart from the energy is very, very different, my house is very, very different. And then my life had to be so there's all these very, very different from what I've had. So it was a bit daunting. Yeah. And then I think if it wasn't for the Rural Fire Service ladies, it probably would have been a lot more daunting.
Wow.
To come in, because as I said, we didn't know anybody. And my husband, that's fine with him. He's kind of happy to do his own little thing, what he was doing. But I'm a little bit more social and needed a little bit of, socializing. And thankfully, these ladies didn't mind sort of having a morning tea or whatever it was that we needed to do. And through that, I've made some really lovely friends, and now settled in after, what have we been here now, 3 years. And it's it's fabulous. I've got a good group of friends now, and it's
I hear that a lot when people are moving, because John and I are looking in a couple of years to do something similar to what you've done to another area of the South Coast. And I hear that a lot from people when they make a move, that it's about having those support, being part of the community, and getting involved in the community as best you can, whatever the thing is for you to get involved.
It's the easiest intro. It really is the easiest intro. If you don't have a community service kind of role that another thing that's a really good idea, and I didn't do this, and we should have probably, but start to get to know a few people before you move down, so that when you get here, you can go, we've arrived, and at least one or two people, but we didn't know a soul.
Yeah, do you know what? I've started doing that as well. Like, we know some people down the coast to the area that we want to move, but I'm starting to make some connections there from a business perspective as well, because I don't want to land there and going, here I am out of towner. I want to become part of the community. So I'm starting to do that a couple of years out from, and they're gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous people. Yeah. Like they are.
It's all very, but it's a different vibe though. Everyone's really relaxed and nothing's, it's okay, no stress. It's almost like coastal time instead of Canberra time.
Oh my God. Yes, I'm looking.
You'll love it.
You know what, my mindset, I'm there already. It's just physically I'm not. So I need to, I'm easing myself into that. What were some of the other challenges in making that? Because you had a very high profile job here too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
In Canberra. How did you make that transition from kind of corporate public sector to not?
I say I drank quite a lot of wine for the first for a little while. It took quite a while to sort of just, calm my farm, as my husband would say. But did say to me after about 6 months, he said, "You're actually walking like a local now," which is dawdling rather than I just get up and go, "Right, we're going now. Bang, 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 bang. Let's do this. Come on, I've got the book out, the clipboard, we're ready."
Oh,
Just no. If I want to wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning now, I do, and it's okay. But it was very interesting. I found after 6 months, I decided I was actually going to get rid of every piece of corporate clothing or handbag, shoes. I got rid of probably 50 or 60 pairs of shoes, all the jackets, all the handbags. I just got rid of them all. So I have no corporate clothing whatsoever. And interestingly, had a need for it a couple of weeks ago. I had to go to Government House. I had to go and buy something because I didn't own a jacket or a dress or anything that wasn't boho or, a pair of joggers sort of thing.
Was that cathartic to do that?
Yeah, very, very much so. Yeah.
Yes. I've been kind of doing a little bit of that. Mine's not necessarily getting into the getting ready for the coast, but my vibes changed around that as well. Like I wear runners to work. Like I'm sensible. Like I wear sensible, comfy.
I think society's getting a bit okay with it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Yeah.
Instead of having the world's largest collection of heels, I now have the world's largest collection of lifestyle joggers in every colour. Platform, glitter, no glitter.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. I was going to ask you, when you were talking about the community, the moving down there, what about packing up your house? Like your roots were here, 22 years here.
Yeah.
Was there any other things about leaving Canberra that were challenging or not?
Not so much challenging, a bit sad. Insofar as I really loved our the house that we had in Canberra. And we called it the Fibro Majestic, but it was an old-fashioned Canberra workers' cottage that we'd done some extension to, and it had a warmth, and it was beautiful, like a family home, but with warm colours, and I'm a bit of a colour freak, so it was just warm, and I don't know, it had a beautiful garden. We did have a really, really lovely garden. So we've come down here and everything's different. It's Hamptons, and it's sort of coastal gardens, which are very, very different. And I'm turning into a bit of a mad gardener as I get older. And it's we decided to do the landscaping here, and it's a bit of it's difficult to find what you actually like, because I love roses and I love all the sort of traditional cold climate gardens and stuff, which you just can't have here.
Isn't that interesting? Even then, maybe that's probably not even the thing that you would anticipate would be the thing that would be the differences. Like you sort of focus on all the exciting bits, but, when we move from one point in life to another, sometimes we don't realise the things that we miss until we don't have them.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Oh, yeah, the flowers. Because now you mentioned that at the coast, it seems really obvious, but it's probably not obvious until you start doing your own gardening.
Yeah. And I have 3 rose bushes, I must say, and they are performing very bad. Very badly this year. The girls need a bit of a lift, but it's going to happen.
So it's kind of reestablishing what you like, isn't it? It's an opportunity. It's almost like an opportunity to start afresh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's different. We had furniture recovered, and we've had to sort of pick all these different styles. And my husband has a fantastic eye for detailing art and stuff like that. So we've just had to change everything, and it's great. Yeah. Our house is really lovely. I think
it is.
Our house, yes.
Yes, your house is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful.
So it's a bit different now than it was. And so yes, it is different. But I was a bit sad to leave Canberra. But I couldn't go back there for quite a while. I just thought, no, I don't want to go back. And I felt very anxious going back.
Interesting. Because your daughter's still here too, isn't she?
She is, yes. And I would not have anxiety attacks, but I would start to feel very anxious about going back there, and driving in the traffic, because we don't have any traffic here. Really. Was one of the things. And now the last 2 times I've been there, I've actually really enjoyed it, because Canberra's changed. So it's not like I'm going back to home. I'm going back to this place that's pretty funky and cool, and it's different now than it was. So I actually have enjoyed the last couple of times.
That's interesting. I'm curious about that, because it's like you're a strong woman. I know you. You're a strong woman. Got a positive outlook on life, but just the difference and kind of almost the going back to something brought up some things. And it doesn't sound like it was hugely
no.
traumatic or anything,
traffic, to be
but
honest.
It was just that it was different, and you'd kind of maybe moved into this new life. I can't quite think. I have these things, Jo, and maybe it's to do with the number of birthdays I've had, but I have conversations and I can't quite grab it from the filing cabinet in my head. It's like I can't remember what that conversation is. So I get what you're saying, but I can't get that filing cabinet memory out of my head.
You're stuck today. It's all right. Welcome. Oh, no, you're not even 60, so something that does happen is, I'm not going senile. I just can't remember some things.
Just a bit of brain fog. What about, have you settled into that sort of retirement? You've made the sea change.
Yeah.
You're 60. You said that was a really kind of liberating, empowering birthday. But are there any of that retirement? Have you retired or not?
Well, no, not really. Yes, I have, insofar as I don't go to work every day. Yeah. But I see clients here. I have a healing room here, so I see clients here every week, and I run a few little workshops, and I teach Reiki healing, and I do that here because I have quite a large area that I can access to teach. Yeah, and I do those sorts of things, and I still do the Rural Fire Service every Thursday.
I do.
Yeah, catering. Yes, I do. Don't tell anybody.
Do you know what? I reckon that's beautiful. I reckon that's really good. So tell me about your spiritual practice. You've been on part of that spiritual journey for a long time. Yeah. Tell me all about that.
Well, as a child, I could go to 25, I guess. One day I said to this woman in the street, and I didn't know who she was, I just said, "You have this amazing green colour around you today. It's extraordinary." And she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "You've got all this beautiful green energy around you here." And she said, "Can you see that?" And I said, "Yeah. Can't everybody?" I just assumed for a very, very long time that everybody could see like that. And I have been able to see those sorts of things all my life as a child up till now. And she said, "That's actually quite a gift." And then I wanted to know more about it. And she said, "Well, I'm part of this little this spiritual get together. Come and we just learn about different sorts of things. We meditated and just different bits and pieces." And it sort of went from there. Excuse me. And I don't know. It was 2009. I went to a conference with a lady called Doreen Virtue. I don't know if you know who she is.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And was totally taken in with this card reading thing. I thought, "Oh, this is amazing." So I paid some extra money to have her teach me how to do it in a small group. And I armed myself with a few decks of cards. I went to the Gorman House markets and started reading cards every week.
Oh, did you? Oh my gosh. They're local markets here in Canberra.
Yes, the local
really
markets
famous
there.
markets.
And I thought, what the heck? I'm going to do this. And it just kind of flowed on from there. I had learnt traditional Usui Reiki many, many years. In 1986, I did my first level of that and was always interested in it until I started doing angelic Reiki. And then I thought, well, I like this. But then I started to do Kundalini Reiki, and then I thought, I found what I want to do. Oh. So I am a master teacher of Kundalini Reiki, which you have done some of, and I teach that and I use that all the time. But energy healing is energy healing. So sometimes it's Kundalini, sometimes it's different energies that come in when you're doing.
So healing. What's the
wonderful?
Yeah, what's the Kundalini part? So Reiki is energy healing, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, it's energy and hands, sort of predominantly through your hands, isn't it? Yeah.
So Kundalini is using earth energy.
Yeah.
Angelic Reiki is a much higher vibrational form of energy healing. It's because you're using angelic vibration. And Kundalini is earth, and it's lower and it's hotter.
Yes.
But the same. You know, it's one and the same. You're just pulling one down, you're pulling the other one up.
Yeah.
And it's very, very powerful. It's very easy to turn on. And I find it the easiest to do remote healings with.
Yes.
was interesting. And I do a lot of that through COVID, particularly.
Yeah.
Client, because no one could come and see me. We did a lot of remote healings that way, and it worked really well.
Yeah, because it is energy healing is one of those beautiful things that you don't have to be there in person.
No, you don't.
And so through absolutely COVID, but not just COVID, is it? You just
it's still it's still. I have clients in all parts of Australia, and I have one lady in the States that I do all remote with.
Yeah, that's very cool. So your spiritual practice, you like Reiki's your kind of
it's my main
thing, but your card readings as well.
Yeah.
I was just looking around. You've got a squillion decks of cards. I don't know if you can see up for those of you that are watching on YouTube behind me in these little baskets. There are a whole lot of my decks of cards as well. And I was just going to, are yours nearby or not?
No, I actually only just took them downstairs last night when I did my thing. Yeah. But I have 200 decks of cards. Actually, I have a deck over there. I'll go and get them. Just have a look at this beautiful painting here. And
I'm just going to put this on pause for 2 seconds. Okay.
So Joe's just went and got the deck of cards.
Did you get your cards? Because I'm going to just while we're still chatting, it's just maybe even just channel the energy, and I'm going to get you to pull a card for the listeners. That now, just mindful that this probably, when this goes live, is going to be May. The 9th of May. So I'm just putting Joe on the spot there. So Joe, and Joe also, if Joe's details are in the show notes, but Joe St. George, Joe does card readings each week as well, where she actually has a different deck of cards each week and then just does the reading and the interpretation. And they've been, I must admit, Joe, they've been very, very accurate when I've been following along.
I get so drawn to them sometimes, and then other times I find, no, I don't like this deck, but I can't find ones that I like, so I tend to go back to the tried and true, the Doreen Virtue ones, simply because they work in my heart. It's as easy, it's just an easy thing.
So what deck have you got there? Have you got a...
So I have the Love Your Inner Goddess deck.
Oh, nice.
I love it. And it's a Lana Fairchild deck of cards, and the artwork in them is just really funky and young, and things like these sorts of pictures, they're really lovely,
vibrant and
fairly clear. But I've actually just pulled a card because when I just gave them a little shuffle before one jumped out.
Yes.
Can I do it now?
Please. Yeah.
It's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. How appropriate is that?
So it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than better to be absolutely ridiculous than
absolutely boring.
And it's a picture of this gorgeous woman with a wild mask on.
And it's freaking beautiful is the word down the bottom here.
Freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
And what's your interpretation of that, Joe? So when you look at a card, can you talk us through? Because a lot of people have guidance cards. You use your intuition.
I do, yeah.
You use your intuition.
The cards, to be fair, the cards are generally there for the client.
Yes.
I just put them, I've very rarely ever looked at a book that comes with these cards, and I put them there because you want a card reading, and then I just get messages from them. But this is about stepping into your power and not letting anybody rain on your parade. This is moving forward fearlessly. And if people don't like the way you are, that's their journey. It's about them, not you. This is like, be true to yourself and move forward and stay beautiful and, freaking beautiful. Stay
freaking beautiful. Yeah.
Because it's wonderful. But it's about, it's about taking more, it's working with your solar plexus, which is the chakra point that sits just under your rib cage. And that's all about, it's about self-confidence and moving forward fearlessly and stuff like that. So that's what this card's about. And I know at the moment, a little bit of booby stuff here, there's a lot of really interesting energies around because we've had an eclipse, and it's the energy's kind of but it's pushing us forward, and it's pushing us forward because if we don't do anything about it now, we're going to lose the momentum, because the next eclipse not for another 12 or 13 months, I think. And I don't follow the moon thing too much, but I think it's that far away. So if we don't do what we need to do now, it's going to lose that pushing energy that comes from from spirit sometimes.
And it's interesting that you pulled that card. Like, that's what I'm all about as well when I'm talking with my clients and my community. It's about be true to who you are and really own who you are. So yours is, the card there is saying about that's freaking beautiful. Like, we are all beautiful, and it's about owning that and seeing it within ourselves.
Yep.
And being who we are, not trying to be somebody else, not
be a different kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
Society puts people into these little molds. Be different.
Yeah,
there's nothing
absolutely.
wrong with that
and
all.
Own it, and really own it. And because the universe, we need everybody to show up how they're showing up. And a lot of the women that I work with around that, not feeling confident to be who they are. And it's about, well, who do you want to be? Who are you? And sometimes it's, they're not clear around that. So let's do some self-awareness and exploring around. And you do the same with your people as well. Yeah.
You got to have a title. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Have a title.
Yeah. What's your title?
LifeGuide.
LifeGuide. Yeah. Do you know what I struggle? I do struggle with that in all honesty, because when I know we talked about this in my business, like, I'm a coach and a mentor, but there are so many things in that. I don't know if I have. Oh, do you know what? The other day I was looking at stuff, like mindset magician came up, and a dream weaver. Like, I help people to get their mindset, and I help them to weave their dreams and create their dreams. Now, I'm not sure if that's what I'll put on my business card, but like, I'm a bit of a treasure hunter as well, like helping people to find their treasure troves and their gems within them. Like, they're not, and I was talking with somebody earlier at about categorizing some, and it was in relation to some different, that's one of those filing cabinets that I can't quite get to in my head, but it was about being categorized. And I don't like to put a category on me. And I know for business points that can be a bit tricky, but I'm not good with that. Yeah. But you're definitely.
I needed a title, and when I left the public service, because I had a title, and I'd had titles along the way in my life, I needed a title. Didn't know I needed a title until I went and saw this beautiful lady who runs an academy where I did a lot of my training. I just went and I said, I don't know what's going on here. I can't cope. My family say I'm crying a lot, and I'm not. I don't like crying. And she got out this great big piece of butcher's paper, and she put my name in the middle of it. And then we wrote down all the things that I ever have been in my life. Mother, horrible teenager, Miss Fraser Island 1975, Win television manager, this, that, the other, the whole thing. The thing was full of all these different things that I was. And she said, so where do you think you sit there? And I said, I don't know. I'd have to go home and workshop this with my husband, because he's the word master. He gets all these fantastic words. So I took this big piece of paper home and I put it on the fridge, and I sat on the kitchen bench and I opened a bottle of wine, and we sat there and we talked about it. And he said, you're a life guide. He said, you're not a life coach. And I said, I don't ever want to use that word, because I'm not a life coach. He said, you guide people through all these things because of all these different experiences that you've had in your life. You can guide other people through theirs with the masses of knowledge that you have. And I do have. Yes. I've had a lot of interesting roles in my life. And so I can help people, and that's what I love doing. But LifeGuide it was it. That was it. Big light bulb moment.
Love it.
And that was, right, now I can get up and have some dinner. Come on, what are we doing?
And that kind of fits with your personality too, doesn't it? Because I did a similar activity where I just listed, I was trying to work out, who am I? Like, who am I?
Yep.
Who am I? And it's the same sort of thing. Like, it was about, I came up with a whole lot of qualities. I came up with a whole lot of functions that, I performed in life, and I brainstormed and just had words everywhere, and I whittled those down. And now this doesn't really relate to me in what I do in my business, but who am I? The words I came up with was, I'm free-spirited. And that resonates with me. Now, I know it's not, I don't put that on my business. Free-spirited.
No, just free spirit.
Free spirit.
I like that.
You like that?
You
People
could do
would
that on
probably
one side
go,
and then have the business one on the other side. You could have a two-sided business card.
oh, like two-faced.
Yeah.
Maybe people who are listening give us some, put some comments about some, free spirit. But I certainly know in my life I am absolutely free spirit, and that fits in with,
yes.
I choose to be who I am, and I'm very, feel pretty good. Sorry, I'm just getting a phone call coming in. I feel good about who I am, but I do show up differently in different, some days I'm feeling, I'm sparkly today. I'm sparkly most days, but some days I'll be just like really boho, chilled out, barefoot. And then other days I'm wearing all black today, black and silver. And
do you like that with music?
Bright pink.
Your taste in music?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
The same. We're chameleons. I think we're chameleons, and we play to our audience.
Yeah.
That's
adaptive. Absolutely.
Adapt. Yeah.
And morph in. I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And I choose to be different things at different times, and I'm completely okay with that. Some people might kind of, anyway.
They may think you're false, but in fact you're not. You're just being true to yourself.
Yeah. Because it's that free spirit to choose what I want. So that's cool about the work label as well. That's very cool. What other tools do you have in your goodies of spiritual? Like, I just love the whole spiritual stuff. I just love talking with what else have you got in your bag of goodies there? What do you use?
I do sound baths. I know. I started doing them over here.
Love.
And my husband bought me 2 very large bowls for Christmas, and then I bought a selection of them, and now I run these sound bath meditations. I have 8 and other sound implements as well. They're just beautiful.
Yeah.
Sound is very healing. You can be a sound healer. I mean, it's another form of healing, I guess. But I just love it takes me to different places. I can do a guided meditation, or I can sit there and just do a Zen meditation or whatever. But when I do sound meditations, I just go to a totally different place.
Same.
It just takes you that extra level down, and it's amazing.
Do you know what? As you're saying, I want you to do it now, but it probably won't.
I can't.
No.
I have to go downstairs
That's a setup
and
stuff,
and stuff. Yeah,
but
I will do one and put it up on my Facebook page so people can see it.
Oh, cool. That's that would be great. I find exactly what you said there, sound baths, and that's using the crystal bowls. And
I've got 7 crystal bowls and 3 brass ones, and I have 4 wind chimes and a couple of other, or koshi chimes they're called, and they resonate on different tones as well. And it's
and I love it. It just gets into your head, because I have a very busy mind. I went to the had acupuncture the other day, and he said, oh my God, Catherine, he said, your mind is just so busy. I'm like, I was having the acupuncture, and it's just like, oh shit, I wish somebody could get my notepad, because I've got all these thoughts going through my head. But the sound just helps my mind get quiet, but get clear.
Yep.
And just that.
If you find one sound that actually really does that to you, whatever the megahertz of it is, get a bowl and have it there as your own sound.
Oh, okay. I might. You
have to try a lot of them out first, because they all they're all very, very different. Yeah.
I was watching some TV show the other day. It was some random stupid thing, but a guy got his head stuck in some sound bowl or something, and I was just like, oh, actually, I think I would find that quite therapeutic. Not to get my head stuck
very
in
dangerous.
It, just to have but to have just that. Anyway, that's a bit.
Stop watching that sort of thing.
So you do your sound baths, beautiful, beautiful. You've also just started some other gorgeous workshops as well.
Yeah,
Tell us about those.
I have. They're just starting off. I've got a few ideas for further down the track, but I've just got a little logo that's I and a heart signal me. So it's all about, and as you know, I wrote a book about self-care.
Yeah.
And this is about I heart me, and it's about giving yourself back things. So the first one I did was a vision board workshop and setting goals and things, because people don't always think about those sorts of things. So I had 15 ladies here, and we had a fabulous night. And then I had one where we all learned how to read cards. That was just recently. We had all had got their own deck of cards, and we were doing readings for each other. But I was just basic card reading, which was really lovely. And it's just giving yourself back something spiritual.
Yeah.
And my next one is Bath Body Beauty, where we're going to make our own Bath Body Beauty products.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yeah.
How beautiful.
So they're just nice. They're nice, fun, not too spiritual, not too deep. So people that aren't really spiritual can come along to them and enjoy them and have a bit of fun as well. And we have a glass of bubbles, and just it's fun, but it's learning and learning to look after ourselves a little bit more.
Yeah. And I know I've just started back my in-person Happiness Hive events. And you presented at one of those a couple of years ago where you did the vision board, and that was beautiful. Yeah, that was beautiful. So, and that's the same sort of thing where we get together and we just do fun. You know, we talk about different topics, have those kind of inspired conversations, but also do random fun things. Like one of the ones we did, I think maybe before you and I met, was there was a woman that taught us how to do Bollywood dancing. And that was really good fun. And then there was another young woman who was starting up her own modelling agency, and she taught us how to be catwalk models. And then we've had other ones where it's been, you know, deep conversations about life-changing events. That, so it's the same sort, you know, we're about helping women just to feel absolutely beautiful and gorgeous about themselves.
I've teed up a lady to do your own private grazing table. So a winter warmer grazing plate that you do it, like she does them these amazing spreads, and I'm pretty hopeless with that sort of thing, so it'll be really nice to do something.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm actually challenging myself. I'm going to do my own grazing platters, and so I'm learning to make sourdough bread, and for me that's a really big life challenge because I skipped that. I skipped all the domestic stuff. And so I'm actually setting myself a challenge. And it's interesting, my brain works quite differently. The things that I would say are my gifts and my zone of genius, easy in flow, the things that are not, like putting together a grazing platter. My brain, I can feel my brain actually clunky. Okay. So I'm actually putting that as part of it's a learning to use my brain differently.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Sorry for all those that are coming along. What daily practices do you have about just being the best version of yourself? What are your daily practices? Or what are some of? Maybe not. Yeah.
In the mornings when I wake up, we walk on the beach, on the footpath on the beach. I can't swim, so I don't get in the ocean, but I do walk on the sand sometimes. We walk our doggy on the beach, and while my husband's giving me a coffee, I do this little thing called Love, Grace and Gratitude, and it's a thing Robbie Zeck, who's the lady I went on the retreats with, does, and it's love, grace and gratitude to Mother Earth, love, grace and gratitude to my beautiful heart, love, grace and gratitude to the wider world, love, grace and gratitude to others, love, grace and gratitude to spirit, their spirit, and love, grace and gratitude to the universe. And then you go back down again. And I do that about 3 times, and then the coffee's ready, is about how it works. Then I'm much more zen when I've had a cup of coffee and I've done that. And that's my every morning ritual. I don't always say it out loud. I quite often do it in my head, but I do the arm actions for it. Because
I got goosebumps, Jo, when you mentioned that. What's a sign of goosebumps? What is a sign of goosebumps?
Truth tingles, angels speaking. You should be doing it, Catherine.
Yes,
all of the above.
I like that. I haven't heard that term, truth tingles, but when I get the tingles, that's absolutely what it is. That's Spirit's way of working through me to say.
It's a beautiful practice, and it's done very slowly. And when we're in Bali, we used to do it for about 10 minutes every day. And Olivia wrote a song about it that she does it too as well.
Nice. Can we get you, Jo? I'm going to get you to even just pop those points down, and we might pop that in the show notes as well, just because I can't even remember what you said then, but I think that would be a nice practice.
It'd be lovely, yeah. So that, and making the actual art of making a pot of tea. When I get home from my walk, I make a pot of tea, and after I've had a coffee, but I sit down and have a cup of tea out on the front deck, which I call front yard Bali, because there's lots of palm trees on my around.
Oh, Jo, that's beautiful. Like we could go on
forever, couldn't we?
Ever and ever. But Really lovely to reconnect with you. Thank you so much for
Thank you. It's just
sharing. And where can people find you? Where
You can find me on Facebook under Joe St. George, and I have another offshoot to that, Joe St. George LifeGuide, but you automatically get an invitation to join that page, and that's where I will put all the meditations and things on the LifeGuide page, because it's then you can just go, the little 10-minute meditations and sound baths that you can go and just listen to when you need to.
Oh, beautiful.
It's, it's not for the everyday stuff that you have on Facebook.
Yeah, no, that's great to do that. And we'll have all those details in the show notes.
And apparently I'm on Instagram. I didn't know I was, because Grace, God love her, when she was about 10, set me up. And apparently I've got like about 8,000 followers.
Oh, wow.
Like a junior influencer or something in my teenage
very cool. Without even knowing that you've done that.
I don't even post on there, and it's people. Anyway, so you mainly find me on Facebook. If you've got any questions, or you've ever got a question, I'm really happy to have a little video chat with you, or anyone if they need to, but just send me a message. It's easy.
Yeah. And Jo does her beautiful card readings as well.
They're 5-card Fridays, they're called. So on Fridays I pop the cards up. Yeah. Live read Saturday.
Perfect. So thank you very much. I'm going to maybe change my business card to Catherine Bowyer Free Spirit. See what happens there. And if anybody would like to sign,
I think it should have 2 sides.
Yeah.
Sides, I think. You don't have a cube as a business card. So just 2.
Might do it.
Free Spirit on one side, and then have some professional title or whatever you want to call yourself on the other side.
Yeah. Or Free Spirit.
Or just woman, or goddess.
Actually, if anybody does want to sign up to newsletters and stuff, just follow the happinesshive.com, and you can join the newsletter, and you'll get wonderful tips like what I share here. Anyway, thank you so much, gorgeous. Loved it.
Thank you. It's wonderful. Yes.
Love to you. Thanks.
Love to you too. Bye.
See ya. Bye.